if you've got a debt collector calling your phone and those are starting to feel a little like harassment, I want you to save this video because I'm going to show you exactly how to spot harassment so you can sue. Hi, my name is Jasmine. I talk a lot about money and credit, and debt collectors are no stranger to harassment and abuse tactics in order to convince you to pay. Because sometimes it's hard to connect what the debt collector is actually doing to what would fall under harassment per the FDCPA subsection 806. And one of the easier violations that you can spot is going to be the excessive calls all made in one day. That's because if you have someone calling you back to back, despite the fact that they might be calling you between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m., they're likely calling you while you are at work, even if that call is being made to your personal cell phone. What you want to do is make sure you're not deleting any of those calls or voicemails, because that is going to be evidence that you can use to show harassment. Now, whenever they call, they often like to call from a lot of different numbers, which can be a deceptive tactic that they use to get you to pick up the phone. Because if they have been calling from 8675309 this entire time, you've likely caught on and likely won't pick up. But if they switch their numbers, you're more likely to pick up that call because it could be anybody. And the same goes for leaving excessive voicemails. They don't have to just be threatening, but calling and leaving voicemail after voicemail, which would prompt you to want to stop whatever you're doing to check it, and feeling this immense dread and pressure to have to actually talk to them is a violation. And that's just the FDCPA, because calling you can expose them to violations that they are making under the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, which are violations that you can sue for anywhere between $500 to $1,500. Because it's likely that an actual person's not even calling, but a robo dialer. And you can tell because it's likely you can't call that number back, or you answer and there's a brief, weird silence, or a robot that answers the phone, letting you know that your call will soon be connected. And that's because under the TCPA, debt collectors actually need your consent to use a robocaller to call you. Now, these are all just violations that a debt collector can make just by calling you on the phone. And these are violations that can either get you paid or can be used to negotiate the discharge of that debt completely. If you like credit repair tips, credit building hacks, budgeting, savings, all of that, make sure you hit the follow button.